Style for me is self-expression. I'm very into the power of art to heal. My style is, I hope, medicine for some people. Especially when I'm walking topless and, you know, wearing just myself. Like, I definitely feel it's medicine, especially for a lot of women. I've just seen their responses on the streets, just so happy to see me there. Basically, what I'm pointing out is women are free. Okay, so most places actually in the United States, it's legal for women to be topless. But you'll notice most places in the United States, women are not topless. It tells me that women are afraid. The woman's body is not sex. I've seen infant girls, you know, at a pool wearing a bathing suit top so that we can train her to hide because she has a reason to be afraid. And then we're also, you know, now telling the boys, like, basically you're supposed to be a predator now and be staring at me. We're doing everything in that moment at the pool with little kids, you know. After the Trump election, I basically had a kind of a meltdown. It really just triggered a lot of pain inside of me. Pain that I had not talked about, pain that I had been covering up, and I realized it was like kind of breaking through me in a way, you know? Just my rage. What happened was I was in a subway and it was like 2 a.m. I had been at a bar. I was getting on the subway going home. And two men came up and started like catcalling me and stuff, harassing me. And I just like snapped and I freaked out on them. I started hitting them and I lost my mind basically. It was like a blackout. And they pushed me up against the moving subway that was arriving. So I bounced off the subway that was moving, broke my finger, got 3 stitches in my head. So I decided to go to Mexico, which is where my heritage is from. My grandmother's from Mexico, so it was kind of like a heritage trip. And I went and I painted there for 3 months, and that's where I got this skirt. This is the first skirt I did any activism in. It's the skirt I walked the High Line in. And also, it isn't really a skirt, it's actually a dress, but it didn't fit. So this thing has been through it, okay? But I think that's what gives it the power. The first time I was arrested was at the Kavanaugh hearings. It was on the steps of the Supreme Court. It was the day that Kavanaugh was sworn in as the Supreme Court Justice. I spent 3 days in jail. I was arrested topless and taken down the steps topless. It was a look, okay? I was like serving it, yes. I have to show you my outfit that I was wearing, it was good. This is the outfit I was arrested in during the Kavanaugh hearings. Actually, no, wait. This is the outfit that I was arrested in during the Kavanaugh hearings. Wallet, bottle of water, t-shirt, everything was in there. My friend, she is a designer and she got this pink phoenix. And then the Supreme Court, so they, you know, they took my hat and they actually didn't give me my hat back when I was released 3 days later because they said it was evidence because of this pink phoenix. They was like, it's the sign of the radical matriarchy. I was like, yes. I started wearing my mustache, you know, doing about a year into my activism work. So I'd been on the streets and having conversations with people, and I wanted a way to kind of like invite conversation. Come to find out, actually the mustache is nearly just as challenging as my breasts, you know, so I could just go into a restaurant and sometimes people will be mad at me. They'll be mad at me for going into a woman's bathroom because I'm wearing a mustache. I've been yelled at by men, women. I'm like, do you want me to show you my vagina right now? Because I'm about to, okay? Like, this is ridiculous. This is from the Maasai tribe in Africa. The person who would be protecting the lions would wear this necklace. A lot of times in indigenous work, like the colors are significant of something. Blue is the universe, we have the earth here, and black is the people. And look, there's only like a few black beads in this entire design. So we're just like a small tiny thing, you know? And we make up a huge, like we're kind of keeping it together because look, it's at the joints. It's an important aspect, but also a tiny, tiny thing. So this was given to me last year. I went to a potlatch, which is a gift-giving ceremony, and it's an indigenous gift-giving ceremony. And this one is from people doing revolutionary work in New York City. And a Black Panther gave me this necklace. So this was his friend's necklace. She was a woman in the 1970s. She was a Black Panther and she made this. And this is the colors of the Black Panther movement. So black is for the people and blue is sky is the limit. I was so moved to receive this. Okay, so I've noticed that I'm aging, And I did color my hair for like a really long time. Actually for the last, I guess, about 15 years. Around 30 I started getting gray hairs. But then, you know, just as an art project, as a meditation, I've just been trying to like really live in the truth of myself. And I have gray hair. I did become kind of like a nun. I mean, I'm not an actual nun like religiously, but I became celibate 2 years ago. I was finding a lot of confusion in my dealings with men. That has basically been a huge interruption in the success of my life as an artist, you know, is the men who are, I'm knowing as an artist, but who are just really wanting to have sex with me. It's like, I'm just trying to do art, like 100% of the time. But basically 100% of the time, that guy's trying to fuck me. So it's like, I just stopped. I'm like, I'm a nun. So since I'm a nun, now can we have a conversation about art? And actually it's worked. And then Leona came, basically one of my now friends, he saw an action that I did in DC where I was like a lion, basically. I was riding in a parade on an art car, and it was a parade for women's rights, and I was topless on the art car, and the owners of the art car asked me to get off of the car because they couldn't take pictures and post them on social media. And I just basically flipped out. I was like, this is the worst parade I have ever been to in my life. And I was like, fine, I am off this car. And my friend who now he was there, he's like, can I take your picture right now? And so he documented that moment. I was wearing like a fur jacket my mother had given me that was like falling apart. And he was like, you're like a lion. And then he said Leona, which is the Spanish version of lion. So Sister Leona. When I feel the most beautiful is when I'm performing outside and there are young girls and, you know, young women who come up and are inspired by the performance. I'm free and I'm expressing myself and it's inspiring them, you know? So that makes me feel really beautiful. So many women I meet are like, I wish I could do that. And I'm like, that's why I'm doing it, okay? I'm doing it because I want you to be able to do it too, that's it. Just that you have a wish to be able to do it is strong enough. And it's been kind of cool because I've been doing a lot of activism in the club scene, and I've noticed, you know, just a few years ago when I started this, the women were always wearing tassels, you know, especially at House of Yes, that's one of the clubs I go to. They were always wearing tassels. I just saw a show there last week and none of the women were wearing tassels. I was like, yes. Wildest dream is the ERA passes. That is my wildest dream, is, you know, we get equal rights for women in the Constitution. If women are free of sexualization, if women are just allowed to exist as human beings, you know, not as someone else's fantasy, not as somebody else's property as well, you know, just if women are free, the world will just be a better place. We're kind of like a gong. Like my friend has a big gong and he explained to me how they're constructed. So basically they take a piece of brass or whatever and they knock it, they beat it until it makes the ohm at the center, the sound of the ohm. So basically, you know, it's created by beating it. And I feel like that's kind of what life is. Like, we're like gongs, like we're kind of beaten into tune. We're definitely gonna take some hits, you know, in this life, and it's gonna be rough. I definitely have taken some, but it's like all of this is like, the effect is me now, you know, and my voice now. So self-acceptance, I guess, is like just knowing that.